Today we're talking to one of my co-workers. This is Na Hye-jin.
Hi.
Hello. And we just have a few questions for you. Number one was, how long have you been an English teacher?
Just 3 years.
About 3 years.
Yeah.
Second question is, have you ever lived or studied abroad?
Yes, actually my whole family immigrated to the US when I was 21. So I could have a chance to live in the US for 2 years.
Cool. So you actually lived in the US for a while?
Yes, 2 years.
Wow, 2 years.
I could say some good things about being a teacher in Korea. I like the students. They are very highly motivated to learn English, even though the reason they are trying to learn English is because they want to get a high score or they want to get a good university, or they want to get a good job or something.
Mm-hmm.
But many of the students, they are motivated to learn English. So I, as an English teacher, I think it's a good part.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel sometimes great pressure to teach English in the classroom.
So like as a Korean English teacher, like you feel a lot of pressure to teach English
In English.
So
Yeah,
it's
of
kind
course.
of.
Yeah.
How do you feel about interacting with like the native English teachers? How do you feel like those relationships are?
Well, I used to be a native teacher coordinator last year. So he was the native teacher last year. He was from South Africa.
From South Africa.
Yeah, South Africa. So it was the first time for him to come to Korea. So he was struggling because he doesn't like the Korean food and don't know anything in Korean. I don't know any Korean words or something. Right. So it was very hard for him. So I need to help him everything.
Yeah.
Like going to the bank, make a bank account, or make a credit card, or make a phone call to his country or something.
So kind of your job was to help him to get adjusted?
Yeah, like assistants or a secretary or something. So, but most challenge part for me to help him is I don't know his background, cultural background. So I think it's most important thing for me to communicate with him. So, but he was very young and very kind, so we had a good time. So we can make a good friends. So I think he can serve.
And I think like a problem that lots of native English teachers have is that, just like you said, they don't know about the Korean culture either. So I think that the more that we can find out about each other's cultures, makes the transition a little bit easier. So like before I came here to teach English in Korea, I took at my university, I actually joined the Korean club.
Korean club?
Yeah.
In your country?
In my country, at my university, there was a Korean club of the Korean students. And so, and they had they taught like basic Korean stuff, and they taught a little bit about Korean food and stuff like that. So when I came here, I knew a little bit about what to expect, so that made it a little bit easier. But it's definitely, a foreign country.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. What are some of the cultural differences that you can notice? Because I know you said you lived in the USA for a couple of years. What are some of the cultural differences that you are aware of, like in the classroom?
In the
stuff
classroom.
like that?
Well, many Korean students, they are they are shy, so they never raise their hands and ask some questions or something because they are afraid of they are afraid of making a mistake and make the other student making fool of them, so they never speak up. And also, I think many Korean students are more respectful, like you said. they wear uniform.
Mm-hmm.
They need to cut their hair.
Yeah, that's true. They wear uniforms.
Yeah. They cannot they cannot make their hair dyed or.
So what is the rule like on haircuts anyways for the Korean students? It has to be like above their collar or something, or how does that work?
You cannot dye your hair, and you cannot.
You can't dye your hair either?
No, never,
wow.
never. Oh no, they cannot make a wave perm.
Yeah, kind of a perm. Yeah.
Yeah, they cannot do it, or they cannot raise their hair until under the about 10 centimeters.
Really?
Yes.
So like kind of like below the ear, they can't have hair, but the boys can't have hair below their ears, I guess.
No. And they cannot wear earrings.
No
or
earrings?
Necklaces or something.
What about makeup? Are they allowed to wear makeup?
They are not allowed to, but they do it.
Yeah, I've seen some with makeup on.
Yes. So I have I have a phone cleanser and soap in my drawer. So I gave them wash off your face.
Oh really?
Yes.
Wow.
They wash it and
wow.
I check them.
So if they like come to school with and they, for example, dyed their hair or did something like that, what happens to them? They're not allowed into the school, or?
Well, first we give them some warning, but if they don't fix it, we can punish them. They need to leave the school for a week. Mm-hmm. They cannot come to school, and after they come back to school after a week, and still doesn't fix it. Mm-hmm. They need to leave the school forever.
Wow, it's pretty strict, really.
Yeah, of course.
And I think, like you said, in my opinion, like the students are a lot more respectful in general. But I think they're also a lot more shy too. You know, they are kind of afraid to ask questions.
Yes.
So, like for example, like as a foreigner trying to teach English, that's something that I had to adjust to. Because the students are less willing to participate than I expected.
So as an English teacher, it's very hard for me to make students open their mouth.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's difficult because, speaking English and having a conversation requires two people. So like, if I'm the teacher and I'm the only one talking and the only one participating, it's not really English conversation. It's just like English lecture or something. And that's one a little bit of a challenge, I think.
Also, in Suneung, in Korean SAT, they never require students to learn English writing or speaking. They don't assess it, so that's why
they don't do English writing or speaking.
No.
Wow.
That's why many Korean students don't focus on the writing and speaking. They just reading.
So writing and speaking is not a part of the big university entrance exam. I didn't know that. So basically on that big entrance exam that they study for is just listening
test and reading.
Like reading comprehension.
Yes.
I see. Well, it was nice talking to you today. Thank you for.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Thank you very much.
All right. So anytime.